everybody. Welcome to Laughter Talks. This is Marguerite Fair, and I have a wonderful guest to share with you today. Her name is Debbie Laino, and she is an inner peace health coach. Now, this is a very special show, so let's get ready to meet with her right now. Everybody, welcome to Laughter Talks. This is Marguerite Fair. And I have this very lovely woman who looks like she could be my sister sitting right next to me on the computer. And yes, and I like your do today. Now, this is the lovely and wonderful woman, and she is in charge of the Ageless Woman movement. And I would like everybody to really welcome Debbie Laino. I want to make sure I'm saying Laino correctly because
Yes, you are. Good job.
I know I have this thing. There are only two ways you can pronounce the average name, and I make myself notes so the emphasis is going on the right place, and I get it wrong the first time. So consider yourself honored and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me to come on.
Yes, and this is a thank you too because I was on your show. You have your show, Debbie's Corner, and I loved it. I thought it came out very well. Thank you for having me as a guest.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, everybody, that was all about talking about me, and now we're going to turn the tables and make you the one who's doing all the talking.
Oh no.
Now, first of all, I want to say that your passion is family. I've checked out your website, and that's very first and foremost. And you have how many grandchildren do you have?
I have six children and four
Four
grandsons. No granddaughters yet.
grandchildren. God bless you. And so what I would like to do is I don't want to do the talking, so your information on your website is amazing. So I would like you to tell our guests how you got started with the Ageless Women movement and your story a little bit. So I'm throwing the ball. It's been thrown over to your court. So tell us about what's going on, Debbie.
Oh, let's see. Well, how far do you want me to go back? Um,
You were
I
born on that long, cold day.
yes, August 29th, 1952, upstate New York. Yeah. Um, Well, I think probably the easiest place to start would be my married life. Only I say that because a lot happened there, and a lot happened there that pushed me forward to where I am today and the business that I have today. So, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that you could ruin your health in other ways other than diet and exercise. So in my world, you ate well, you exercised, you're good. And I was raised on whole foods. We didn't know anything else. I was very passionate about organic health food way back in the 60s as a result of being grown up on my grandma's garden. So food I always kind of took for granted. I was not a junk food eater. We had a large family. I was one of five in an Italian family. And so, food was always present and it was always cooked from scratch because nothing else made sense when you had a large family back then in the 50s. So, the food I never considered to be a problem. Um, and then the exercise, I was into all of it. I mean, just all of it. So it wasn't until my married life and I would say mid 30s things really started to get rocky. I mean, it was a difficult marriage. Let me preface this by saying it was a challenging 25 years. We had a lot of kids together. It was a relationship that was high and low. So, me, I'm very stable. I'm very, very level, very balanced. And here I was living with someone who was just, his emotions were unpredictable. When he was the best, he was the very best. When he was the worst, he was the very worst. We often had to walk around on eggshells, because of just an unusual temperament and things like that. But we had a lot of great times. I don't want to take away from the great times that we had, that when they were really fun. But as I said, the other side was very challenging. So, but as a result, what happened for me is I began to get sick And that was really a surprise to me. I went to the doctor, says, I don't know what's wrong. I can't stay awake at the wheel. I'm sleepy all the time. I don't feel well most of the time. And lo and behold, I found out that my adrenal glands were completely bottomed out. I mean, I was adrenal exhaustion. I think it was exhaustion. It was at the very end. And oh, and by the way, you have type 2 diabetes. I'm like, what? Like me? Yeah, I was so shocked about that. And he says, yeah. He said, I'd like to put you on medication. I said, oh, no. I said, just give me 6 weeks. Just give me 6 weeks to work on this myself. Let me do the research. Let me see what I need to do. Check me back in 6 weeks. I'd be happy to do that, but let's stall medication until I could see if I could correct this myself. And so I just did the research. I'm like,
And
wow.
how old were you then?
At that point, I was just in my 40s. So, yeah, 30, and that was before, I think it was before my last child, by the way, was born when I was 43. So I think it was before her pregnancy that all this came about. And oh my gosh, and unbeknownst to me, my carbs and sugar were off the rails, but I never noticed that. I just never realized that. I didn't realize how much sugar was in my diet aside from the obvious things that we think about. We think about candy, we think about cakes, cookies, whatever, but there's so much sugar in my diet aside from that that I didn't realize. And the carbs were off the chart. Being Italian, we were eating pasta every day, and I am not kidding you about that. Every day there was pasta on the table. So I had to do some tweaking on my diet for sure. So I did that. And then I realized I wasn't exercising enough. So what did I do? I go to the gym every darn day, and I'm working out for an hour and a half, just busting it, busting it, busting it. I got my sugar down, but and I had a second episode of adrenal fatigue, adrenal exhaustion. And my doctor said, no more working out for a year. Your body has to recover. Well, what I didn't realize, and which really is what pushed me into getting certified, into knowing more, what I didn't realize were my emotions that I had been stowing and stuffing and hiding were at the root of my illness, and I didn't know it. I mean, I turned up with fibromyalgia, arthritis, all kinds of things that there was an awful lot of acid in my diet too, which I wasn't aware of, and plus my emotions were turning things into acid. See, so I still didn't really have the connection yet between emotions and illness. I still thought it was just physical. Well, I have to eliminate this and I have to add that. I have to do this and not do that. I still was not thinking or connecting it to emotion. And so the marriage keeps going and the stress keeps going. And I won't get into the details of why the marriage was so difficult. You can always go to my website. My story is there, most of it anyway, not everything, obviously, but enough for that you get the picture. And I went into a process of healing by I wasn't doing any workouts at all, but just really focusing on food and relaxation and whatnot. And then he got cancer. In our 25th year of marriage, um, we found out he had pancreatic cancer. And we got separated before we found out he had cancer. We were separated for a year, got back together because he's very charming, I might add. Very charming.
Abusive men are known to be charming. I had my very own Prince Charming. I
And
know.
then you know it. A very charming man,
Yeah.
and charmed me back into his life. And 4 months after we got back together, um, he was always in pain. So we found out, bottom line, it was pancreatic cancer. The diagnosis was 2 months to live. And so here I was with 6 children, 5 of which were still living at home, 4 of which were still school age,
Mm.
and found out, lo and behold, he had canceled all our insurance policies.
Oh my
We had no
God.
insurance,
How
and we're
terrible.
about to face the worst battle of our life. And I'm like, not only do I'm trying to settle all this with myself, but oh my God, how am I going to survive and keep a roof over everybody's head? And how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is through faith, prayers, good people, really good people came beside me without asking, and they just stepped in. The oncologist wrote off the entire bill. The IRS, I wrote them a letter. They wrote everything up. It's just unbelievable. I
That's amazing.
I credit this to faith. I credit this to God. I do, because I'm like, Lord, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't make enough money there. I don't know. I did have Social Security for the children to help with expenses, but boy, was it tough. And he left me with a lot of debt, which I didn't know about either. But that's another story. Anyway, bottom line is everything got sorted out.
As
And then
it usually does in life eventually.
it all got sorted out. And then an opportunity came, and my parents had gifted me a small amount of money. And I said, okay, what am I going to do with this? I have to really make this, can I have to really make this work? What do I really want to do? And I'm like, you know what you need to do? You need to help other women. You just need,
Yeah.
I had my own journey. I discovered how important and how I had ignored my emotions, some really serious emotions. I was avoiding and hiding all of them, and I began to associate that
Yeah.
with,
Now, can I just ask, what age were you at this point? Because this is when your shift came to bring
yeah,
you
the
to
shift
this
came.
journey. So how old were you then?
52. I was 52, he was 53 when he passed, and I was in, it was, wow. I mean, there was so many unknowns at that point, but
Oh,
I just had faith that somehow it would all work together, and it did. And I mean, I really just had a rejuvenation, like a rebirth, like a, I don't know, like this pent up little bird that just went boom, and I just went after it, and I decided what I really wanted to do was to help other women. And I didn't feel at that time, but it's because of course I developed the belief that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, but I do have a journey that's worth telling. I have a story that's worth telling. I've done things even without the education to bring my health back into alignment.
yeah.
Um, by the way, I never did go on medication because I never needed to,
Well, good
and
for you.
my
You're,
sugar has been stable
yeah,
for over 20 years.
yeah. I do
Just
wish more people, I would just like to interject and say that would realize that because so many people decide to take the medication and it will make everything worse because you're not, and like you have addressed, it's stress. You've got to also examine your life. So
oh my gosh, yes.
at this point that you decided to get into the coaching,
Yes,
what
it
you're,
was at that point, and I had the gift of some extra money, and I decided that I wanted to be regarded as qualified aside from my own story. So I just researched school, and the one I chose was the Institute of Integrative Nutrition out of New York, and I just loved it. Loved it. I loved all the people I met. Made some beautiful connections with some lovely souls in that course, and it was a year of study. And I got certified as an integrative nutrition health coach and started a health coaching business. Um, but very soon into that, I felt that it wasn't enough. I felt that it wasn't enough because there was another piece that I didn't have. And that was, okay, I can tell you all the things to do to bring your numbers into alignment, your blood pressure, your sugar, and I can guide you on healthy lifestyle. I can guide you in some of the things that I would suggest for you. But the piece that I didn't have the expertise on was how to resolve the emotions, how to clear and remove the subconscious beliefs that would block a client from really having lasting success. Oh, a 3 month success, perfect. But lasting success, what gets in the way? What makes people start and stop? What makes people go full tilt for a month, 2 months, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, by the end of the year, they're back to their old habits. So that's the piece I really wanted to resolve is what could I offer them that would be more lasting, that would be more healing at a much deeper level than just what you eat and how you exercise and move.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle all the way around change. Like when people have to lose a lot of weight, having the surgery isn't going to help if you don't fix what's going on up here.
Um, Marguerite, that is so true. That is so true. What I did, so I did another course and I became a practitioner, a MAP practitioner. And what I got interested in and intrigued in was if I just worked on beliefs and emotions, could they lose weight? Could my clients lose weight without dieting or exercise? Could they lose weight simply by clearing and resolving and healing old trauma, old beliefs from, who knows how long you carry
Of
these
course.
beliefs that we adopt.
Yeah.
But so I did a 6-week trial in August of this past year, and I invited people to come in for free because it was a trial. And I was so pleased. Everybody lost weight. But the most remarkable thing about it is that everybody felt better about their bodies and their self-esteem was like way up here, which one girl in particular said, that was a surprise to me. I didn't think I could ever feel good about me or about my body. So that was really profound to me that we could work on just beliefs and emotion and improve so much. So that led me to develop a program, Overcoming Emotional Eating and letting go of the weight of your emotions and beliefs. So that's where I am right now. And I am
A
something I have on the
party, a
16th.
vision board party. I
Yes,
saw
that's
on your
local.
poster
Yes.
doing that locally, a vision. You might want to record that. That would be great for you to show people.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be fun. See, because it's going to be a few different things because I'm also a yoga teacher.
Uh-huh.
And so when I decided to, this is so funny, when I decided to become a yoga teacher, it was because I couldn't find a class that I could resonate with that had a teacher that knew how my body felt, and so I said, you know what? I'm going to become that teacher. So I'm going to learn how to teach it a different way. And so I started getting involved with that. That was right after health coaching, because I knew that yoga made my body feel so good. And I wanted to
I
offer that
haven't
to other women.
heard anybody say anything but good things about yoga.
You just have to get into the right class. I will stress that because, and it depends on where you are personally. Like for me, I still deal with chronic pain every day. So the yoga takes care of that. My brain commands that I give myself take care of that when it comes up. But the yoga makes there's such a marriage between your mind, body, and soul when you partake in yoga. And that's what I really saw the benefit, that it was just so relieving on an emotional level, on a physical level, just felt so good. So my vision board class starts with yoga.
That's wonderful.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking you have a gentle form of yoga, right? Like
Oh,
I wouldn't have to, for
yes.
instance, put my head around my neck or anything, right?
No, you would not.
'Cause that wouldn't be happening,
No, we
by
wouldn't
the
do
way.
that. I'll just give you an example. So if you have degenerative disc disease, which I do have, so if we were doing a seated twist, for young yogis, they could turn and bring their head all the way to the back of themselves practically.
Uh-huh.
But for somebody with degenerative disc disease, that would not be appropriate. So, but you still need to get your movement in your spine. So if you could even do this,
Yeah.
that's all you
Yeah,
need.
just go as far as you
Just
comfortably can go.
Yep.
medication because
You
they don't
never
Exactly.
push, they don't
you
want to
never
deprive
push
themselves and
past
they don't
pain.
want to do the work.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging people like that. Everybody makes their own choices, but I guess you have to just pick the way you prefer to live.
Well, see, I like the way you said that because it is a choice. And I too understand if people want to go that way, but then when they're getting sick from their choices all the time, I've ended relationships because it gets to be too much. I mean, I can be empathetic and everything, but if 2 years you're still doing the same thing, when I've given you really good suggestions, it's like, okay, you keep making your choices because I'm
They're
not
just,
letting your stress waterfall onto me.
that's right. And you, my father used to tell me this all the time. You can lead a horse to water, but they might not drink.
Yeah,
People sometimes are just not ready
and
to
I
hear the
know
information.
because for a long time I wasn't. I mean, I unlike you, was not a healthy food person when I was younger. And I was always eating bad things, but I finally had to make a choice. But I remember that frame of mind. That's why I try to be empathetic because I remember but then I remember the frame of mind that changed and said, you've got to make a change too.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Let your body be your guide. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of that. I mean, how in the world did we get so disconnected from our bodies and our minds?
Do you know, you will really appreciate this after all you've been through and learned and studied. But when I had hypoglycemia when I was younger, first attack at 24 because I ate like bad things all day. I actually said to, you know what my mother said to me? She goes, Margie, they called me Margie in Jersey. I think that the way you eat is really upsetting your body. And do you know what I said to her? What does what I eat have to do with the way I feel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people, especially back in the day,
Mm.
people just did not get in with somebody to really help them.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I am blessed because I have a doctor who is from India and she is familiar with both kinds of medicine. So she has always respected me when she offered medication and I said, no, I really would like to. And then she would even suggest some supplements. And then she said to go see someone who's because I had a woman who did, but she passed away. But I always make sure that I'm not randomly taking things. But see, that's why we have this connection. I mean, even when we spoke last time, it's just so, we're on the same page. We started off.
I felt really fierce about it. Like I just feel like I need to be out there in a movement to lead women away from putting so much emphasis on their age and
Yeah.
more emphasis on their emotional well-being and their satisfaction in life
Well,
and all of that.
yeah. Well, now, Debbie, tell me if women would like to join your movement or learn more about it, how do they contact you?
Well, there's two ways. You can email me if you would
Okay.
like to chat more with me, and that would be agelesswomanmovement.com at
Okay.
gmail.com for email.
Okay.
And if you wanted to join the Facebook group, and I'd love to have you because I love the women are just so interactive and it's wonderful. And you can find me there, the Ageless Woman Movement on Facebook.
Oh, that is wonderful. And I am going to really suggest that everybody do that women washing. What message?
Mm, you are enough. I don't know what caused you to think that you weren't, and it doesn't matter, but you are enough.
Wow.
That's it. You are enough.
Oh, those are truly beautiful words. Thank you so much. And Debbie, thank you so much for being a guest today. This is amazing, and we'll be staying in touch. And I've got to get active on the women's movement page because it's, I love things like that.
Oh, thank you. I see you there, and thank you for popping in and giving your presence to the world.
I
Yes,
I
thank
have
you.
to do more of that because it makes me feel good too to see what other people are talking about and sharing. So
Yes.
everybody, you get onto the movement. We love you. Stay healthy. And I always say protect your immune system because it's only one per customer. And
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you
so
so much for having me
have a
today.
great day. Debbie, see you next time. And you take care. I love you. Be good.